Welcome everyone to Python Academy. My name is Siddhant Pinjarkar and today I'll be teaching something about control statements that is a part of the core Python. Today we'll be learning about conditional statements. In total, there are three different kinds of control statements. There's a conditional statements, a looping statements, and a loop control statements, where conditional statements involve if else, and if elif. So let's start with our first conditional statement. Before we do that, we'll look at what is a conditional statement. It is involved in decision making, where we see the anticipation of a condition being occurring while it is being executed by a program for a specific action. We have either two kinds of results here, true or false. So depending on the type of result, if the condition satisfied gives us true, then a certain kind of code can be executed. If a specified condition becomes false, then a certain other kind of code is being executed. So this is the general form of decision making, which is involved in if else, and if elif structures. For anything that is not given, the Python language will already assume that it is a non-zero value or a non-null statement as true, or either zero or null value as false. So here we see there's a syntax given for our first conditional statement, which is known as if statement. So it consists of a Boolean expression, which is followed by one or more statements. So if the statement is satisfied, the expression is satisfied, then the statement will be executed after. So it is similar to the other languages. The if statement contains any kind of logical expression, which gives you either a true result or a false result. So if the expression evaluated is true, then the block of statement inside the if statement is executed. If it is evaluated as false, then the first set of code after the end of statement is executed. We'll see a certain kind of example which is very specific to if statement. First, we have a equals to 4, where we have defined a variable a, which is 4. If we give a statement called if a is greater than 3, then we want to print any condition that is true, and we want to print that the sample statement is given out. So because a is greater than a is equals to 4, which is greater than 3, so this condition becomes true, and the statement will be printed as condition is true and sample statement. Now we have resubstituted our a value as 3, and we check if a is greater than 3. Because a is not greater than 3, it is equal to 3. So this condition becomes false and nothing will be printed over here. In the next example, we see that a equals to 3, and we see that if condition is not being satisfied, but because the second print statement, which is print sample statement, is not inside the loop, which is the if loop. So we get sample statement outside because it is not part of the loop, or it is not part of the condition. So we do not get a print of condition is true, but we do get a print of the sample statement because it is not the part of the if statement over here, where a is not greater than 3, but it is part of the whole code, so it will be printed over here. If we again put our a variable as 4, and we say if the statement is if the variable is greater than 3, then we want to print the condition, which is true. So the condition is true statement will be printed over here. Next, we again give another if statement inside this if statement, and we check if a is equals to 5. Because a is not equals to 5, so the next statement called a second if statement will not be printed over here because this becomes false. Although the print sample statement over here, which is part of the first if loop, is printed because this if loop is true. So anything which is intended once inside the loop will be printed if it is true, and anything that is not the part of indentation, irrespective of the fact that it is true or false, will be printed by the condition, given that it doesn't fall inside the